Yes, hello dear viewers, welcome to TV Mathshub. In our today's session, we shall be looking at item number 2, and remember that we are looking at a series of videos that will be covering different concepts, different questions from different papers for the Senior 4 mathematics students. So for those that are in Senior 4 and you are preparing for your final examinations, please stay at this channel. Make sure you subscribe, you like, so that you will always be notified whenever the next video is uploaded. So let us look at our item number 2. Item number 2 says a farmer has a rectangular field of maize that has got length which is the square root of 243 plus the square root of 48 meters, and the width is square root of 75 meters. So to protect his maize, he plans to fence off the field. It is also known that the fencing wire costs this per meter. Also, after harvesting the maize, he plans to divide it into 2 parts, one to be left home for eating and another portion for sale, and that will be done in the ratio of 2 to 3 respectively. He hopes to leave home some 400 kilograms for eating. Our tasks: A. We need to determine the perimeter of the field, giving your answer in the simplest third form. B. Calculate the exact area of the field in square meters. And C. Advise the farmer on the total cost of the fencing wire required to go around the field once. How many kilograms are expected to be harvested? So let us look at the required responses. But to look at the required responses, we must first of all interpret or put this information in the mathematical notation. Part 1, we need the perimeter of the field. So looking at the given information, we have the length of the field, we have the width of the field, so we can easily get the perimeter of the field. So let us first of all have our information. So the information given is that we have the length of the piece of land, which length L is same as the square root of 243 plus the square root of 48. Then we have width, which is same as the square root of 75. So we are dealing with a rectangular piece of land that has got width, which is the square root of 75 meters, that has got length, which is the square root of 243, then plus the square root of 48. That is basically what we are having. So the first task is to determine the perimeter of this field and to make sure that we simplify our answer to the simplest third form. So what is the perimeter of a rectangular piece of land? In other words, what is the perimeter of a rectangle? So perimeter of a rectangle is same as 2 into length plus width, and this is same as 2 into what is the length, square root of 243. What is width? Width is that, so this is plus square root of 48. Then we are adding there width, which is the square root of 75. Now we need to simplify this. To simplify this, it means we shall be simplifying these third forms. So next, this will be 2 into, we need first of all, since we are dealing with square root of a number, we need to know the number that has got a direct square root that is within 243. And how do you get that? You can first simplify 243 in case you cannot easily get that number. So you can put by 3. When you get 243 divided by 3, you will get 81. When you put again by 3, you will get 27. When you put again by 3, you will get 9. By 3 again, you will get 3. And by 3 again, you will get this will be 1. So that is basically what we are having. So we need a number that has got a direct square root. But also looking at this, you realize this number here, which is 81 has got a direct square root. So instead of having this at 3 to the power 5, I can have it at 3 times a number, because I wanted a number that has got a direct square root, which is 81 or 9. So this will be same as 3 times 81. So I can have it as 3 times 81, and that is the number 81 is a number that has got a direct square root. Likewise, if you need to look at 48, you need a number that has got a direct square root, and it will give you 48. So when I'm to look for that number, I begin with 2. For example, this will be 24. When I put 2 again, this will be 12. When I put again 2, this will be 6. And when I put again 2, this will give me 3. And lastly 2 will give me, this is 3, and lastly 3 will give me 1. So when you look at this, number, this is same as having 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So I need a number that has got a direct square root and will give me 48 when I multiply it with another number. So likewise, when we look at this, this is same as 4, this is same as 4, so this is same as 16 times 3. So does 16 have a direct square root? That is yes. So this can easily work for us. Then next, if you are talking about 75, if you put by 3, it means this will give us 25. So 25 is already having a direct square root, so this is already enough. So 3 times 25 will give you, first was to look for the number that has got a direct square root out of these numbers. So that is 3 times 81. That is what we shall place here. So for that case, we shall have the square root of 3 times 81 plus the square root of 16 times 3 plus the square root of 25 times 3. So that is what we are having. So from here, this will be 2. This one alone is same as getting square root of 3 times square root of 81. This one is same as getting square root of 16 times square root of 3. This one is same as getting square root of 25 times square root of 3. So that is what we shall have. This will be 2 into square root of 81 is 9. So 9 times root 3 is 9 root of 3. So don't multiply the 9 with the 3 to get square root of 27. That will be wrong. Then we shall add there, square root of this is 4. This remains root of 3. Square root of 25 is 5. This remains square root of 3. So that is basically what we shall have. So from here, we shall have the perimeter to be 2 into, so we are having this is root of 3, root of 3, root of 3. So root of 3 is common. So what we shall do is to add these coefficients 9, 4, and 5. So this will give us 9 plus 4 plus 5. All these into root of 3. So because root 3 is common, so we pull out root of 3 and we remain with 9, 4, and 5. So that is basically what we shall have here. So this will be same as 2 into 9 plus 9, that is 18, then square root of 3. So 2 multiplied with 18, and it will give you 36 square root of 3. So that is basically what we shall get. So therefore, the perimeter of the field, is 36 square root of 3 meters. And part A will be answered. In part B, we need the exact area of the field. The exact area of the field in square meters. Now, to get the exact area, we must know what shape we are dealing with. One, we are dealing with a rectangle. So how do we get the area of a rectangle? So this is part B. Area of the field will actually be, area of the field is 1, so is equal to length times the width. So what is the length? Your length here, we had our length here, which is this. So this is our length, this is our width. So we shall place a square root of 243. We add there square root of 48. This is length, and we are multiplying this length by square root of 75. Now, since we have already got the square root of this as 9 square root of 3, so we can put it there. So we have this as 9 square root of 3. This is 4 square root of 3. This one is 5 square root of 3. So we can put it there since we already have that. This one here is 4 square root of 3. We are multiplying this by 5 square root of 3. So from here, you can first deal with the addition of this. Since this is root 3, you can have this as 9 plus 4, then multiplying by root of 3. So this one alone. Then you will multiply this by 5 square root of 3. So from here we shall have, this will be 13 square root of 3. You are multiplying it with 5 square root of 3. So when you are multiplying here, don't multiply with 5 and this 3. 5 is not under square root sign. So you will have 13 multiplied with 5. Okay, multiply these ones which are outside, then also multiply those ones that are under square root together, 3 with a 3. So this will be 13 times 5. That will be square root of 9. So you will have 13 times 5 times 3. And this will give us 13 times 5 times 3 will give us 195. 195 meters squared, because you are multiplying meters by meters. So this will be the area of the field. So therefore, the area of the field is 195 meters squared. And part B will be answered. Next, in part C, they are saying advise the farmer on the total cost of the fencing wire required to go around the field at once. So first of all, we know the cost per meter of the fencing wire. Now the next thing that we need is what will be the perimeter of the land. So the perimeter of the land will give us the total length of the wire that will be moving, that will be fenced along the what? Along the piece of land. So to calculate the cost, we shall be saying, so the cost of fencing, that is part C, the cost of fencing will actually be same as the total length of the wire that will be required. And then you multiply by the cost per meter. The cost per meter. So the total meters of the wire that will be required is actually same as the perimeter. So that's why we are writing the perimeter here. So if we know the perimeter, we shall be knowing the total length of the wire that will be required to move along the land at once. So we have already got this value. It was 36 root of 3 meters. So it means this will be 36 root of 3 meters. But remember, each meter is worth 7,500. Each meter is worth 7,500. So this will give us the total cost of fencing the piece of land. So let us get that amount. So 36 times square root of 3, then we multiply by 7,500 will give us 467,653.72. That is 0.71. We can put it at once. This is 0.718. So that is the amount that we shall have. So meaning that this amount here is the amount that corresponds. This is the amount that can be corresponding to the mobile money, because on mobile money you can have such amount. However, in cash terms, we have to round this one here to be to the nearest shillings. So to the nearest shillings, it means we can have this as 467. So 53 to the nearest will be 100. So this will give us 700 shillings. So it means in cash terms, we can have this, but in mobile money terms, you can have that. Even on bank, you can have such amount. But in cash terms, then it means this 53 will be approximately equal to the 100, because it is already greater than 50. So we can have it as 100. So 100, this is 600, so that will give us 700. In other words, we are rounding off to this value. So when you round off to this value, then you'll be able to get the 700. So we can now say, so is approximately equal to this in cash terms. So we can say the cost of fencing, the cost of fencing the maize, the cost of fencing the maize field once is actually Uganda shillings. That is 467,700. This is to the nearest. You have done this to the nearest shillings. So, and this will be our answer. Then part D, let us look at part D. For part D, they are saying how many kilograms are expected to be harvested. So we are told that after harvesting the maize, he plans to divide it into two parts. We have the one that will be left for eating and another portion which will be sold, and this will be the ratio. So it means we are given the ratio. We are given the ratio of the maize for eating we are given the ratio of maize for eating to selling, and that ratio is same as 2 to 3. So that is the ratio we are given, that is 2 to 3. But he hopes to leave home some 400 kilograms for eating. So he wants to leave home some 400 kilograms for eating. It means the maize that will be left for eating, maize for eating that will be left home is actually equaling to 400 kilograms. So this is what he plans to leave home for eating. So that is the kilograms he intends to leave home for eating. So what we need now is the total, is the how many kilograms are expected to be harvested. So that is the total amount of maize that will be harvested. So how shall we get that? One, you realize you are given the total kgs for the maize for eating, and you can easily get the total fraction that corresponds to this. So when you have a fraction and you have the corresponding amount, then you can easily get the total that will be harvested. So here what we need is, we need to first of all know what is the total ratio. So you are given the ratio, but what is the total ratio? So the total ratio is same as getting 2 plus the 3, and this is 5. So what will be the proportion for eating? So the proportion for eating will be obtained by getting the fraction that corresponds to the maize for eating, then times the total maize that will be expected to be harvested. So first of all, we need to know again the total amount of maize that will be harvested, so which we don't know, of course. So we shall let the total expected maize to be harvested to be, for example, y. So this is the total maize that will be harvested. So if the total is y, then what is the fraction that corresponds to the one for eating? Because we have the amount that will be left for eating. So it means the proportion for eating, the proportion that will be corresponding to eating will be same as getting the fraction, which is, let us look at the fraction for eating. So which fraction? So we have maize for eating, it will be taking 2, and selling will be taking 3. So the fraction will be 2 out of 3, 2 out of 5, the total ratio. So this will be 2 out of the total, and then multiplied by so 2 out of the total, we multiply this by the total maize that will be harvested, which we called y. and this must be equal to the maize that will be left home for eating, that is 400. So this will be equal to 400. So this is 2 over 5y, which is equal to 400. So you can multiply through by 5, this side by 5. So 2y is same as 400 multiplied by 5. So you can easily divide by 2 on both sides. So y will be same as, this is 200 times 5, and y will be 1000. These are kilograms. So that implies that the farmer expects to harvest 1000 kilograms of maize from his field. So this is the total that he expects to harvest. So if he harvests this, then he will leave the 400, which 400 is same as the 2 out of 5 of the total harvest. So that means that this part here, how many kilograms are expected to be harvested, will be answered. And that is all about item 2. Yeah.